In the very heart of Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, where one of the most powerful empires of antiquity once flourished, lay a city almost forgotten by the world. This was Nimrud, ancient Kalhu, the jewel of the Assyrian Empire. Now only ruins remain of its splendor, silent witnesses to past glory, holding tales of power, art, and the tragic fate of a civilization. Breathe in the air of antiquity and mentally transport yourself to this city, spread out on the banks of the Tigris, surrounded by fertile lands. It was the very heart of Assyria, a place where destinies were shaped, where life teemed with intrigue and battles. Here, majestic palaces rose, adorned with intricate reliefs, shimmering in the sunlight. At the entrances to these palaces, like unwavering guardians, stood giant statues of Lamassu, winged bulls with human heads, symbols of strength and protection, inspiring awe and reverence. The history of Nimrud stretches back through millennia. The city was founded in the 13th century BC, but reached its greatest prosperity during the Neo-Assyrian Empire in the 9th to 7th centuries BC. It was then that it became the capital of Assyria under King Ashurnasirpal II, a ruler known for his cruelty and boundless ambition. He transformed Kalhu into a genuine architectural masterpiece, adorned with majestic palaces, grand temples, and ziggurats, stepped pyramids reaching for the heavens. For many centuries, Nimrud remained the heart of the empire's political, economic, and cultural life. Within its walls, kings held court, destinies were shaped, momentous decisions were made, alliances were forged, and wars were declared. In the bustling atmosphere, various crafts flourished, trade thrived, and works of art were born, capable of astonishing the imagination even today. But nothing lasts forever. The grandeur of the Assyrian Empire and its brilliant capital ended as suddenly as it began. In the 7th century before the Common Era, the empire fell under the onslaught of the combined forces of the Medes and Babylonians. Nimrud was plundered and destroyed. Its buildings were abandoned, its statues overthrown, and the memory of its former splendor gradually faded, erased by relentless time. For thousands of years, Nimrud was almost forgotten. Only a handful of travelers, daring enough to traverse these lands, could discern the barely visible hills concealing the ruins of an ancient city. And it wasn't until the middle of the 19th century that its new history began. The story of its rebirth, its rediscovery by the modern world. The first excavations at Nimrud commenced in the year 1845, led by the British archaeologist, Austen Layard. Layard, inspired by discoveries in other Mesopotamian cities like Nineveh, began to explore the hills, which concealed traces of ancient Kalhu. His initial finds were breathtaking. It was Layard who unearthed the astonishing reliefs that adorned the palace walls. These reliefs depicted scenes of hunting, military campaigns, religious ceremonies, and court life. They were carved with incredible skill and such remarkable detail that they allowed modern scholars to learn almost everything about the Assyrians. But Layard's most impressive discovery was the giant statues of Lamassu. These winged bulls with human heads, standing guard at the palace entrances, embodied power, wisdom, and protection. Their gazes seemed to pierce through the ages, guarding the secrets of the ancient city. Layard uncovered several magnificent statues, each of which appeared to weigh dozens of tons. Transporting them to Europe proved to be a real feat, demanding immense effort and ingenuity. Layard's work revealed to the world the splendor of the Assyrian civilization, displaying it in all its glory. His discoveries caused a sensation in Europe and America, igniting a keen interest in the history of the ancient East. Layard published several books, meticulously describing his astonishing findings. His works quickly became classics of archaeological literature, inspiring hundreds of young scholars to study the mysteries of ancient civilizations. After Layard, other archaeologists took up the baton of excavations in Nimrud. Among them, it is worth noting Sir Max Mallowan, the husband of the famous writer Agatha Christie. He spent several seasons in Nimrud, from 1949 to 1963. His investigations vastly expanded our understanding of the ancient city's structure and layout, while also unveiling new and equally captivating artifacts. Archaeologists unearthed not only magnificent reliefs and monumental statues, but also a multitude of other valuable finds that fired the imagination. Exquisite jewelry crafted from gold and precious stones, weapons, pottery, and clay tablets inscribed with cuneiform, holding the secrets of bygone eras. These discoveries gave scholars the chance to delve deeper into the world of the Assyrians, lifting the veil on their culture, beliefs, and art. Cuneiform tablets, like pages from an ancient book, held a special place among the discoveries. Covered in inscrutable cuneiform characters, they preserved texts that recounted life in Assyria. Deciphering these texts presented a real challenge for researchers. Through painstaking work, they learned the names of kings, reconstructed the chronology of their reigns, and gained insights into military campaigns and religious rituals. One of the most stunning finds in Nimrud was the Nimrud treasure, discovered in 1988. This hoard, like a forgotten jewel box, contained hundreds of items made of gold, silver, and gleaming gemstones, belonging to Assyrian queens. The treasure had survived millennia, concealed from looters in hidden chambers beneath the palace structures. The discovery of this treasure caused a sensation in the world of archaeology. The study of the Lamassu, those monumental guardians of Nimrud, sparked no less interest, a subject worthy of its own equally captivating story. Creating these statues was no simple feat, demanding from the artisans not only a virtuoso command of the chisel, but also a profound understanding of Assyrian symbolism and religious beliefs. Each Lamassu figure was carved from a monolithic block of stone, most often limestone or siltstone, which in itself was a titanic undertaking. The dimensions of these giants could reach several meters in height, and their weight, several dozens of tons. Special tools were required for the work: hammers, chisels, saws, as well as a good deal of ingenuity and patience. Hundreds, if not thousands, of experienced masters and apprentices toiled over the creation of each statue. The symbolism of the Lamassu was deeply rooted in the culture of Assyria. The wings symbolized the celestial sphere, the body of a bull represented strength and power, and the human head, wisdom and reason. Thus, the Lamassu represented a harmonious combination of the best qualities of three worlds: the heavenly, the earthly, and the human. These mythical creatures were summoned to guard the palace entrance, warding off evil spirits and protecting the king and his subjects from harm. It was believed that the Lamassu possessed divine power, capable of bringing good fortune and prosperity, safeguarding the peace and well-being of the kingdom. These statues weren't merely works of art. They were an intrinsic part of the Assyrians' religious and political beliefs. The presence of the Lamassu at the palace gates wasn't just ornamentation. It was a means of demonstrating the king's power and majesty, emphasizing his divine origins and connection to the cosmos. It was a part of a complex system of symbolism, meticulously crafted to maintain order and consolidate power. The Lamassu's appearance also held profound symbolic significance. For instance, the number of legs on the statues often varied. Some had 5 legs, creating an intriguing optical illusion. When a viewer looked directly at the statue, they saw 4 legs, but when they walked around to the side, all 5 were revealed. This technique gave the impression of movement, enhancing the feeling of might and strength emanating from these monumental beings. It's crucial to acknowledge that, like any science delving into history, culture, and art, the study of Nimrud and the Assyrian civilization is filled with open questions and areas of debate. For instance, there's still no unified consensus on precisely how the immense palaces were constructed, the massive walls erected, and the intricate reliefs created. The symbolism behind some images and inscriptions, veiled from us by the passage of millennia, remains unclear. This only underscores the complexity and multifaceted nature of this ancient civilization, which continues to ignite the minds of researchers even today. Furthermore, discussions persist concerning the precise dating of certain finds and the interpretation of the religious beliefs of the Assyrians. A people shrouded in mystery. One of the most hotly debated topics is the meaning of the images found on the reliefs. Consider, for example, the winged genies depicted fertilizing the sacred tree. What does this signify? Is it merely the whim of a skilled carver, a decorative motif, or does it hold a deeper religious meaning? Scholars, in their attempts to unravel this riddle, offer various interpretations based on meticulous analysis of other sources, and of course, archaeological data, providing fertile ground for new debates. Despite the many questions and disagreements, Scientists continue to study Nimrud and the Assyrian civilization with unwavering dedication, employing new methods and technologies. For instance, contemporary three-dimensional scanning methods allow the creation of precise digital models of the ruins and artifacts, enabling their study in minute detail and even the reconstruction of destroyed objects, restoring their former beauty. The application of paleobotanical and paleozoological methods helps to uncover more about the flora and fauna that surrounded the Assyrians in those distant times. Furthermore, the analysis of DNA extracted from human and animal remains sheds light on their origins, migrations, and genetic characteristics. Alas, the ruins of Nimrud, like many other ancient witnesses of bygone eras, have in recent decades come under the threat of grave dangers. A merciless war, rampant looting, and the relentless passage of time have inflicted irreparable damage. In 2015, the terrorist group ISIS unleashed its fury upon the cultural monuments, subjecting Nimrud to barbaric destruction. Numerous statues were mercilessly smashed, priceless reliefs were defaced, and majestic buildings were reduced to ruins. These tragic events echoed throughout the world, provoking a storm of outrage and sorrow. The international community, shaken by the barbaric acts, condemned them in the strongest possible terms, calling for the protection of fragile cultural heritage. The United Nations, UNESCO, and other influential international organizations immediately began work, dedicated to preserving and restoring the damaged monuments, striving to heal the deep wounds inflicted upon history. Even today, despite the complex political situation in the region, painstaking work to restore Nimrud continues. Dedicated archaeologists and selfless restorers labor tirelessly to revive the damaged statues from ruins, to recreate the reliefs, and to rebuild the structures, carefully reconstructing the image of the past. Their main goal is to preserve the invaluable heritage of the Assyrian civilization for future generations, so that descendants can touch history and feel the grandeur of bygone eras. The significance of Nimrud and its discoveries for us is truly difficult to overestimate. These findings, like a ray of light penetrating the thickness of the centuries, have expanded our knowledge of the ancient world, of the rise and fall of civilizations, and of inexhaustible human genius. They revealed to us in all their glory how complex and developed were the societies that existed thousands of years ago. They have given us the opportunity to see the splendor of art and architecture, frozen in stone, and also to learn more about the daily life, beliefs, and cherished values of people who lived in the distant past. The study of Nimrud and the Assyrian civilization is also of enduring importance for understanding the modern world. The Assyrians, those formidable warriors and skillful rulers, significantly influenced the development of many cultures, including our own. Their accomplishments in governing a vast empire, crafting laws, spreading the written word, and creating monumental art have shaped history, leaving an indelible mark on human memory. Studying their history helps us better understand the origins of our own civilization, tracing the threads that connect the past and the present. But what does the future hold for Nimrud? Despite the many destructions and irreplaceable losses, hope for its revival and restoration, albeit gradually, lives on in the hearts of scientists, researchers, and all who care about the fate of this priceless historical monument. The international community is uniting its efforts to preserve this unique landmark of history. Archaeologists tirelessly continue their research in the ruins, uncovering new secrets and artifacts, extracting from the depths of the past evidence of a long-gone civilization. It is quite likely that in the coming years, we will learn even more about Nimrud and the Assyrian civilization whose traces remain within these walls. New discoveries, innovative research methods, and fresh interpretations of ancient texts will allow us to delve even deeper into the study of this amazing world. Perhaps in the future, we will be able to recreate the destroyed buildings and statues so that they will appear before us in all their original beauty, as they did thousands of years ago. Perhaps we will learn new details about the daily life of the Assyrians, about their rich culture and art, of which we currently know only a few fragments. Perhaps we'll manage to unravel all the mysteries that this magnificent city, which has endured for millennia, still holds. But even if we don't succeed, the memory of Nimrud and the Assyrian civilization will live on forever, passed down through generations. Their accomplishments will inspire us, and their stories will remind us of the grandeur of human genius and the tragic fate of ancient civilizations that soared to the heights and then vanished, leaving behind only sand and wind. Gazing at the ruins of Nimrud, we seem to be looking into a mirror reflecting the past, present, and future of humanity, a mirror that reflects our entire history. And perhaps, in the rustling of the wind sweeping over the scorching sands of ancient Mesopotamia, we will hear echoes of the voices of those who built this city, whose hands created its magnificence. Imagine the grains of sand, like tiny witnesses of bygone eras, touching your faces, reminding you of the 1,000-year history hidden beneath the layers of time. And who knows what incredible secrets will be revealed to us in the future as we continue to delve into the study of this astonishing place? Maybe one day we'll decipher writings that are thousands of years old, or discover artifacts that will tell us about the lives of those who lived here many centuries ago.